Welcome back to Budgets by Taraya. Now that we've gone over what you need to gather, we're going to dive into how to fill out this form. All right, let's dive right in on how to fill out the Budgets by Taraya tool. So the first thing to note is that we recommend keeping a separate account for your bills, personal spending, and saving. You can structure your accounts however you're comfortable with. The examples that are shown are suggestions of how we personally like to use this. It's up to you and whatever works for your family. What you want to do is label the accounts in a way that's easy to understand for you, and you can do that under the account name. Here on 82 through 85, these are the separate account that you can assign different bills to be paid from. The purpose of having a separate account for your bills is so that you know exactly what needs to be in that account each month to have all of your bills paid. The goal is that you're going to be transferring the funds needed by the first of each month before they're due, and if all your bills are set to auto pay, every bill you have is going to be automatically paid on time each month, and you'll know exactly what's left over in your personal accounts is available for your additional spending. Now we're going to go ahead and start filling out the debt. Please don't worry about the dollar amounts listed on here. These are just random numbers that were plugged in. So if your budget looks a little different than this, it should. This is made up. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to fill out whether it's rent, mortgage. So in this line here, you're going to fill out what the bill is. You can fill out who it gets paid to each month. And for right now, for setting up the budget, in the budgeted amount and the actual amount columns, put the same amount, because what we're going to do then is at the end of the month, you can go back through and plug in what the actual amount ended up being. And then you're going to know, are you budgeting too much or not enough on your budget? The balance, you don't fill this out. The balance automatically is going to calculate for you. There's going to be a drop down menu where you can select which account that bill should be paid from. It's a little drop down here. Once you've named the accounts like you did on that last screen in the bank account section, when you fill that out, those titles that you fill out are going to pop up here for you to be able to select. And then you can put the due date in here as well. For debts that are charged quarterly, what we want to do is we want to still fill it out on the debt tracker, but only going to fill in the payment on the months that it's paid. So you can leave it blank for right now with no payment. And then once we get to the step where we're going to copy and paste all of these debts for January to the remaining months of the year, then we'll go back through and fill out those quarterly debts in the months that they are actually going to be debited from your account. Another thing to note as well, you'll see here on this line 7, I have my electric and water budgeted at $300, but looks like we actually spent $250 on it for this month. We recommend for your utility bills that are paid every other month, we're going to figure out what the average is that you're spending on that and then splitting that in half so that you're actually putting the money into your bill account for that each month, knowing that it's only going to be taken out of your account every other month once it's due. So once all of your bills are input, we have an expense category. You can see it's down on line 65. Every category that you individually put the bills in and totaled on this expense sheet here. These totals are calculated for you, and you can also see the budgeted amount is here, and then the actual amount that you ended up spending if you made any adjustments up on the top of the sheet will also show here, and that balance. Once your budget is completely filled out and we've copied it throughout the year, that's when it's going to be a great time to think about, are the areas that you're spending your money in, is that aligning with your priorities and what's important to you? Another thing to note, you can change these names too. You'll have to do it manually on both areas. We go back here. You'll have to do it manually on where the expenses are listed detailed out. You'll need to change it here as well so that they match and you know what you're looking at. So filling out the income. We want to look at your take-home income after your taxes, insurance, anything else is deducted from your check. If your income changes, tips or commissions, you're going to input the average that you expect to make for planning purposes and then adjust as you go. You also are going to label the income as it makes sense to you. And if you're ready to look at getting pre-approved, either for a new purchase, possibly a refinance, all we need to do is get an application filled out. You can do that at loansbytaraya.com. Please join us on the next video as we dive in further on how to utilize the Budgets by Taraya tool, how to get it set up not just for 1 month, but for the rest of the year, and answer any additional questions that you may have. Please feel free to follow us on social media, reach out with any questions, and we'll see you soon.